Hey, we're live. Hey, welcome to the workshop number 122. This is a comedy safe space. So, if you want to go on an anti Semitic rant, I'm not going to tell your parents. Um, so, are you okay?
Fine. You're looking like somebody's going to bail you out of something there.
That was okay. Let me see. Uh, do you want me to call you Body Positive Comedy for this?
Oh,
Say
I'm
again.
sorry. My name's Derek. Yeah. No, that's my show. I'm sorry. My name's Derek Dozier.
Okay, Derek Dozier, you're up first. Let me know what your topic is, and when you're ready to begin, and I'll start your time.
Okay. Uh, I got trials. Uh, and I'm ready. Uh, my name is Derek Dozier. I have been on trial before. When you are on trial, when you're on trial, when you're being charged with crimes officially, they go through your aliases. They ask you, what is your name? My name is Derek Dozier. And I realize there are other Derek Doziers in the state of California. I am Derek Dozier here in California. I am a person of some color. I'm medium brown. There's a Derek Dozier that you may Google who drives race cars and is a white person. That's not me. I don't think he's funny yet. He may be funny someday, but right now I am the funny Derek Dozier. Okay, but I was arrested. I did go to jail, and I was in jail. I wasn't in jail for a very long time, but I was in jail just long enough to learn that if I could get a Nazi to eat a morsel of food from my hand, he would just roll right over and show me his belly. That Nazi became a very good boy if I could just get him to share some food with me. This brown person, this medium brown person you're seeing now, came to exist because two prison guards fell madly in love. Two prison guards loved each other so much they decided to make a little brown child to hate at home. They wanted to bring some of their work home with them. They were devoted to the craft. I was in jail. I was in jail for. I got to go to jail for talking shit to suburban police. I was charged with resisting arrest and obstructing justice. I was charged with resisting arrest and obstructing justice because I walked across the street to give a manga book to my friend who was being arrested by the cops. And for that, I got held down by three police officers and hauled off to the local suburban police office and was charged with resisting arrest and obstructing justice. I think I think there could be something funny there. So if you heard that, you can let me know. Uh, uh, my cousin, my aunt, they always say, only God can judge me. And if only God can judge me, if God's going to be the one to judge me, okay, I want to give some criticisms of God, okay? I have some notes for God as well. I want to judge God a little bit. I just want to touch bases of God while you're judging me, okay, for the shit I've done. Why didn't you put any rules about sexual assault when you made your list? You should have included something about that. I think it would have cleared a lot of things up. Uh, uh, I Oh yeah. I want to put God on trial. I think God's kind of creepy. I think God is the like VIP of creeps. Like you would never hang out with somebody who was constantly asking you to asking you to sing songs to them. Please sing a song to me. Sing a song about how great I am. You wouldn't hang out with that kind of person. You wouldn't put up with that behavior. Okay. Uh, uh, please sing songs to me. And then when you're not singing songs to them, they're telling you you're going to go to hell. You know, if you don't do what I want all the time, you're going to go to hell. So I think God is the one who should be put on trial, and I think the rest of us are going to be okay. Those are my bits on trial. Thank you for the time.
Yay. Yippee. Sweet. Awesome. You guys have any feedback?
Sure, I'll go. I mean, all I wrote was, I mean, the first one where you're in the prison cell and you're feeding the morsel of food to the Nazis. That was just a really funny image. That made me laugh. I'm not even sure why, but yeah, I just, when I was picturing that and just the rolling over, that got me. I like the part about you crossing the street to give your friend a manga book and he just happened to be arrested. If you could maybe work that a little bit where, the fact that he's being arrested is sort of a surprise. I think that could be a punch that hits hard. Like, yeah, I was just walking across the street to give my friend a manga book. Oh, he happened to be being arrested at the time, something like that. I think that can really work well. And then I liked your premise of, well, if God judges us, then we should be allowed to judge him back. I think there's plenty to work with there. So I think there's some good stuff to work with there.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Yeah, the Nazi bit and the bit about going across the street, those are both autobiographical. Like, those are just kind of true things. Like, when that was the reason I ended up going to jail. And when I was in jail, I realized, like, the whole white supremacist thing, like, oh, okay, the white supremacist guys will be friendly with me, but they wouldn't eat food I'd given them. That's like part of their rules. So that is me saying, well, if I can get a Nazi to eat food, share food from my hand, that's
maybe even put that up front when you say that. Yeah, like when you do the bit, maybe even put that information up front just to establish, like, for some, they have a rule about not eating from it, and then that can I don't know, help to establish the bit or whatever.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Actually, I think it's got a lot of potential too. I have a feeling though this is too close to you, because I think a lot of what you did, you gave the autobiographical facts out, and you weren't chasing the joke. I would probably change everything that's in there that really happened to something else that didn't happen. It'll give you a little bit of distance.
Sweet fuck. Oh gosh, he
said, fuck that note. He said, take that old white man note and shove it.
I'll be surprised if there's 5 of us by the end of the evening.
Yeah, that's great. Now there's a whole.
Why can't I? What the fuck?
It's a Huffington Post article being written about you right now, Jimmy.
He's coming back.
There you
go. I'm sorry. Are we still friends? You still there?
Yeah. Oh man, I knew that seemed dramatic. I should have worked. Oh, am I here?
That was beautiful.
Hello.
Yeah, I can see a picture of you, but you're not moving.
That's funny.
Yeah, I thought when you got to God, that was good too. And I probably would structure it a little differently. I would put the crime at the beginning of the thing. You kind of started partway through, and I completely agree with the note that you need to get the stuff about feeding white supremacists in there someplace, because that actually has a lot of potential. That could be really, really funny.
Thank you. That makes sense. Good notes. Thank you.
You think they had that rule before they saw The Help?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
I'm joking. That's a
that's good. That's a good tag or something to throw that in there. Good reference.
All right. So is it my turn for notes? Is that how we're doing? All right. The calling a Nazi a good boy is a great line. That is an amazing, super duper great visual. I would like it if you made some, I don't know, more references to the Nazi being like a dog.
Jesus Christ.
Got all these notes written out. Come on.
You could always watch this later, so you could keep giving them and
just give them, and then
you can watch this later. So,
but here's my big fear. My big fear is I do them all, and he pops back in, and his internet is great, and then I just have to do it again. and I'm all about doing it once. I'm measure once, cut twice.
Let's try this once more.
It could work for you, Winston. I mean, after all, usually the first time you do a routine, it doesn't go over big. The second time, you start to really nail it. So
yeah. The first time, it's like, yeah, great. It's actually Jimmy. If you give me notes on my notes, so that when he gets here, it'll be really.
I'm
tight.
old. I do that. I'm allowed to do that now.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta. Yeah. Derek, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I really liked the line Nazi being a good boy. Like, I love the idea of comparing the Nazi to him becoming like a pet or a dog to you. And that made me think of things like, I mean, you can call him, he's your Doberman. It makes sense. He'd be your dog. He's a purebred. There's like a lot of things you can do crossing the Nazi with the animal thing. Also, when you mentioned your parents were prison guards, I thought you were going to tie that in somehow. Like, of course, you're going to jail. You were born there. You're going to die there. Like, I don't know. I was thinking of something along those lines. So I think that's such a super fascinating, like, your way of rebelling was being sent to jail. Or it's the only way you could ever see your parents is if you went to prison there. But I liked it. It was really cool. And also the...
Thank you. Wow, I like those. I like both of those.
Cool, awesome, yeah, and God damn it, I was almost got it in. I feel like I'm doing like a show, and it's like a bringer competition, and and they cut the lights out on me right before I get to the closer. It's like, God damn it, I was so fucking.
That's like a narcoleptic.
Yeah, that's a great note. I'm gonna go to sleep.
If Michael Scott did a Zoom mic, this is exactly how it would go. Like, his internet, oh damn it,
this is amazing.
Okay, here we go again. Anytime. Okay. Oh wait. Oh, nice going again. All right. Well, I don't know at this point what to do.
Well, I'll do the last note to nobody, just so you can watch it back. I love the idea of God being on trial, but I want to know who's in that jury. I want to know who the lawyers are. I want to know who the judge is for God. Who could it be? Could it be Judge Judy? I don't know. A Canadian equivalent? I also don't know what you guys got up there. But yeah. So those are the notes.
Yeah. I was thinking. What, like, obstructing justice? What I mean, what if justice was a person? Like, you were obstructing someone named Justice instead of
David Justice, the ball player.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Obstructing Dave Justice.
Right.
It's an old reference, though. How long has he been retired? Well, I guess he broadcast, but whatever.
Derek, can you hear us? Never mind. Okay, you guys have any more feedback?
I do not. Those are my notes.
All right, we're going to move on then.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can't
good.
see you yet, but I can hear you.
All right. Anyway, we're going to move on.
Thank you. I can hear a lot of that. I appreciate the notes. Thank you. Great.
No problem.
Jordan, you're up next.
All right.
Let me know when you're ready to begin and what your topic is, and I will start your time.
Sure. I'm more or less ready to go. So my topic is medicine. So if laughter is the best medicine, you're all about to die. I didn't take a lot of medicine growing up because there's no cure for inadequate. I don't even know that much about it to begin with, to be honest. I thought socialized medicine was when kids traded their Ritalins and Xanaxes at parties. My nephew needs medication. He keeps telling me he has AD because he gets distracted before he even makes it to the second D. I don't feel like I have any one condition or disorder, but I feel like I got a little bit of all of them, like a little bit of ADD, a little bit of OCD, a little bit of HIV. I feel like I have the appetizer sampler for disorders, you know, so the answer might be to microdose all the drugs at once. Is that possible? Do dealers sell mixed candy bags like they do at those bougie candy stores? They say a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, but I don't know, man. I think that's how America got diabetes to begin with. And they were talking about a teaspoon, not a ladle, and definitely not a shovel. I have a hard time swallowing pills because I have a really sensitive gag reflex. And it's about as difficult as thinking of a punchline for this joke that isn't about me trying to blow a guy. And even if I could swallow pills, like sleeping pills don't work on me. Like I develop a tolerance to them. Some people have been known to take Ambien and then try and stay awake because it gives them a trip. But I don't even get that. I just lay awake, staring at my boring blank ceiling. No fun hallucinations, no laser floyd show on my ceiling. Just me, insomnia, and my bummer of a brain. I think I'd like to marry an anesthesiologist who's a little fast and loose with her ethics. That way I'd be finally getting a sound sleep every night. And while I'm out cold, she's free to bang the pool boy, who actually knows how to pleasure her. So everybody wins. Parenting would also be a breeze. As young parents, we'd have a much easier time fertilizing the baby. When they're older, those long car rides would be much more peaceful, and we wouldn't have to suffer through all their shitty school plays and concerts. Obviously, the big medical situation that's on everyone's mind is coronavirus. I'm an introvert, so the silver lining behind the virus is that everybody now knows what it's like to walk a mile in our shoes. Suddenly you guys are tensing up at the sight of one stranger. Suddenly you guys are getting all jumpy when somebody extends to shake your hand. Finally, you guys know what it's like to have introvert virus. Nobody's working on a vaccine for introvert virus. Thanks to Jenny McCarthy, most people think vaccines are what made us this way in the first place. And I'm going to end on a banger here. It's well known that in the medical industry there's been a lot of advances, but Me Too did a great job of eliminating those, and now those poor nurses can just focus on doing their jobs. Cha-cha! And that is me, guys. That's what I have to say about medicine.
All right, sweet, yeah. You guys have any feedback?
Geez, that's a tough one because you've got a lot of good stuff, particularly at the front. And I like your introvert virus comment about, something that's innate, but yet, not necessarily appreciated. I thought you really handled that very well. Yeah, no, I wish I could come up with something clever, but that would take me about a week. And it wouldn't be half as clever as some of the stuff you did at the beginning because it was really hard. It was really good stuff. Very good.
Oh. Yeah, man, I thought it was really cool. Great set. It's also cool. The cool thing about this is I can tell you're a good joke writer, and that's really cool to see somebody like I picked up on what your style is pretty much immediately from when you started going. So it's joke, which is pretty great. I love the comparison of extroverts now knowing what it feels like to be an introvert. The only thing is I'm pretty sure the vaccine to being an introvert is alcohol. I'm pretty sure that helps a lot. Just something like that, alcohol, whatever. I like the comparison of your drug dealer, like hopefully having a drug dealer that gives you like a grab bag of candy, or I was trying to think of, you said like the mixed candy bag, like the bougie candy stores. But I'm blanking on what it's called, but there might be like another shorter word to say that. Like what, like at a party, what do you get?
Yeah.
Like, is that like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like at children's birthday parties, there's
Like
I can't remember.
bag.
Like a,
Yeah, I tried to Google like some candy store chain, and there wasn't really. I think there was one called like I forget Dylan's Like there's apparently a chain of them, but we don't have them here in Canada.
but like a, I think like a goodie bag or something, because that's usually what they were called, like a children's birthday party. Like, or you can even say something like, like a Halloween. But I got where you were going with it, but like that's a shitty note to be like, hey, you should make up or find the word that I can't think of. But I know that there's a way. But that whole through line is really funny. And then just when you were doing you got a little bit of ADD, a little bit of OCD, a little bit of HIV. I don't know. I was just like AD, HIVD. I don't know. It's just fun. You got almost all the letters there. So I don't know. I thought it was a good set. And the only thing was you, as an American, you lost me at socialized medicine. But other than that, you did great, man. Great set. I really enjoyed it.
You know what? I actually did skip over a line by accident because I was going to say, we're introverts. We're forced to self-medicate. Alcohol, pills, and inflatable dolls. That was
exactly. Yeah, I like that. It's just the just having what the vaccine to being like. I mean, that's something as simple as like you do that line, or you can barely go. It's like there's no vaccine for being an introvert, and it's like I don't know if we came up with a vaccine, it would just have to be fucking alcohol or something. But Oh, and also I like the wanting to fuck the anesthesiologist, because that's great. It's because it's like she can put you to sleep. She's already numb to you. It's perfect. You can never fuck somebody else. So that was really great. I enjoyed that set, man.
Cool, thank you.
You think? I was gonna like, what if Bill Cosby's actual dream instead of being a comedian was to be an anesthesiologist? And,
Well, he was a doctor, wasn't he? Like or maybe it was an honorary doctorate or something like that. But I remember watching the Cosby Show and seeing in the credits like Dr. William H. Cosby.
Yeah, he is.
I think it was a doctor of education.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
thanks for
Maybe somebody
ruining
made
where I
that
was
joke
going
that,
with this.
Dr. Anesthesi. I'm sure somebody somewhere's made a Bill Cosby anesthesiologist joke for sure.
Wait, why did the chicken cross the road? Wait, I don't believe a chicken would actually have the mental capacity to rationalize why. Never mind. But fucking anyway, I really like the last joke. That shit got me. The fucking advances thing. You said you had a thing about how at the beginning you said inadequate, and I was thinking like inadequate. It sounds like a drug that they would give you to help you get off of Adderall.
Okay.
I don't know. That was just where my brain went. But that was all I had to say.
Okay, cool.
I'll be right back. I got to go run down and pull my car up so my roommate can move in. So I'll be like 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll wait for you.
Somebody time him.
I'm on it.
We're dropping like flies here, man. I just, jeez. Who's going to be the last one standing?
It started off so well.
This is like a murder mystery part or something. The lights go out and somebody else is dead.
Yeah, it's like Clue. Let me see. How about those worms?
Those worms?
I don't know. What do people talk about?
Oh, I thought you were going to say team because football started today. So
Yeah,
I mean,
the Washington Worms. I've been following them for the past 30 seconds.
is that what they're called now? They came up with a new name because they're called. Going in today, they were the Washington Football Teams, which is.
I think I should have changed it to the Washington No Skins.
The Washington Shirts and Skins. The Washington Potato Skins. Something. So, what about the Washington Pigskins? I can't believe I didn't think of that. It's football related. There's nothing.
Well, I mean, in the current political climate, I don't believe that it would be a wise decision.
Yeah, you're calling the pigskins. You're going to have vegans all over you.
Yeah. Well.
Plus, I feel like moving from Redskins to Pigskins, they'd be like, "Hey, wait a second, you went from a."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, the optics and all that sort of stuff.
Let me see.
It might be a metaphor. Is that what you're saying?
I get, yeah. Some people, somebody might interpret it that way. You never know. But
Well, this is already shaping up to be a very fun episode. Like had person
Got swallowed by the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, here you go. I'd say that was pretty close to 2 minutes. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's literally now 2 minutes 30 seconds. You're back where you were 2 minutes ago.
Awesome.
30 seconds. Awesome.
Unfortunately, it means you get 30 seconds off your time. So.
Oh man. Whatever
We're
will
a
I do?
person down, so.
Don't worry, we filled the time with some killer comedy.
Was it? Oh, was it some great
stretched
riffing?
and we
Nice.
we pushed the envelope. We changed comedy forever in those 2 minutes.
Well, that's all that we can ask for on
Yeah.
a live streamed workshop.
All right. So you guys have any more feedback on that set?
No,
Do you have anything?
no, that's
Okay.
it. That's it for me.
No, that was a great set, man. I really like it. That was super dope.
No, thank you.
Awesome. Jimmy, you're next. Let me
Okay,
know
my
what your topic is.
my subject was cement. Yeah, you laugh. You laugh. The only way I could come up with something is I had to do a throwback to Bob Newhart. So
Beautiful.
thank you, Mr. Swain. I'm happy to bring my report on new projects to this board of directors meeting. I would be remiss if I didn't admit this has not been a sterling year for the new products division here at Global Cement Products. While we did create something of a sensation with our line of cement jewelry for Christmas, by New Year's Eve it was obvious there were problems. I'm sure I don't have to remind you of the office party where Edna Finchley was wearing cement earrings, a choker, and a tiara when she fell into the punch bowl and drowned. If she hadn't been wearing the tiara, she might have been able to save herself. She was a very plucky employee. Before she expired, she managed to drink 3/4 of the punch and spent the rest of the time fighting off her rescuers. Tests to determine if we might have been able to save her if the men hadn't been wearing cement cufflinks have been inconclusive. We have no idea what part her cement nipple rings played in her demise. A lot of you have been asking about our progress developing a smart cement. We really thought we had a winner there. We used a prototype mix to build a 7-story condo in Orlando. No one could have predicted it was going to become sentient and walk out of the state. If nothing else, by leaving Florida, it did prove we really had developed smart cement. This was thrown into some doubt, however, when it moved to North Dakota. As you know, people have been building boats made out of cement for almost 150 years, but no one has ever attempted to build a cement submarine. We consulted a lot of boat experts who insisted it couldn't be done. Well, this company has been proving people wrong for almost 75 years, and I can report we have successfully launched a cement submarine. We aren't resting on our laurels, though. We know the job is only half done. We got it down. We're just trying to figure out how to get it back up again. There were some successes, like our cement bubble gum. It initially looked like a disaster because of the way it hardened in the mouth and stopped people from talking. However, so much was sent to the Trump administration, we actually turned a tidy profit. Just a little sidebar here. So far, no one has successfully blown a cement bubble, which, based on Edna Finchley's experience with our jewelry, that may be a good thing. We were in something of a rush to get out our line of cement toys into the marketplace for Christmas last year, but they did prove popular. Parents who bought cement toys tended to buy more of them for their kids. We don't know if this was because they liked the toys or because the kids beat them over the head with them until they bought more. Getting hit in the head with a concrete C&C would certainly be pretty influential. Mr. Snavely, who was hit in the head with a cement frisbee during product testing, still isn't right. We will continue with new product development in the new fiscal year, and I'm confident that next year we'll have many more exciting things to talk about, as will our lawyers. Thank you very much.
Woo.
Right. Thank you, Mr. England. Do you guys have any feedback?
Well, I mean, here's one thing, because my my brother-in-law actually sort of works. You know, he's an engineer and he works in construction and that sort of stuff.
Right.
And so one thing, and you can change this moving forward now that you're not bound to, to the word cement, but technically everything you're talking about is concrete. The rule is cement is the flour, concrete is the cookie. And so Yeah, like just because I know that, and because I know my brother-in-law would be tearing his hair out right now, I have to mention that. Yeah, like the cement gum and that stuff would still technically work, but like, yeah, I mean, unless you want to piss off structural engineers, yeah, you're gonna have to change all that to concrete. But and that's a
Well,
weird random note. Like so, question, is this sort of like a sketch that you might be thinking of like shooting or filming or?
Well, to be honest with you, I said I kind of the only way I could figure out to do anything was to go along the Bob Newhart route, and I'm thinking about possibly doing it as a YouTube video, just as
Yeah.
that would kind of make sense for it. I don't see it as something that I could do on stage. It's not my usual
Yeah.
style and
Yeah,
stuff
that was
like
my
that.
question was going to be is like, do you usually do the Newhart character acting
No.
out an absurd situation thing? Well,
No.
for that not being what you normally do, that was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I that's why I had to ask, because I could totally see you going up and doing that on stage. The delivery and the rhythm was great of it. It's a very like a monologue like that, I find is very difficult to give notes on. Unless you're like Jordan and you're like, it's fucking terrible, you got to change it to concrete. But outside of just like changing all, I mean, I liked it. I thought you did a really good job of taking all these different ideas, and I don't know, I always like the idea of like a business having a board meeting and trying to think of ways to make more money that is mostly impractical reasons. I think is like, I think this would not work on stage and would translate very well to like a YouTube video or an Instagram video or something like that. So
I agree,
agree
like,
with Jordan.
Yeah, I saw you in a suit, sort of in a boardroom, that whole thing. So that's how I pictured this as you were doing it. So, and I think that would be a lot of fun if you did that. So yeah.
Well, there we go. No boundaries.
And
Thank you, guys.
And honestly, like that was like good enough that it's like it might be a good writing exercise for you just going forward to like, if you do that as a video and it's kind of successful, trying to do more stuff like that just for YouTube and stuff, so you don't have to burn actual bits and stuff when you release them online, because it is a different, unique thing. And like with the way stand-up basically works now, is all new content is good content, even if it's different than what you do on stage. And I think that like, if this wasn't a fluke and you're able to like write stuff like that, that's pretty cool. My brain doesn't work in that way to be able to do something like that. So that's pretty impressive to me. I thought it was really good, Jimmy.
Well, that is theatrical. I have done some other things. I did a 8-minute on explaining Bob Dylan, which on YouTube, and another one on Uncle Jimmy Tells a Story, and basically creating characters, holding them for the whole thing. And yeah, as I was writing this, and once it was done, I saw this as like I said, obviously a YouTube video, not traditional stand-up. Anyways, thank you very much.
Yeah, but it's still great, man. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So
despite the cement concrete,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it totally ruined the illusion. I was not able to suspend my disbelief after that.
I'm in the city of Hamilton, and we have a lot of Italians, and we're very much into concrete over here. And I certainly would like to know that before I tried to put this in front of any of those people.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's such a great fucking heckle. I just picture in like one, like his brother, just a structural engineer that's just fucking screaming at you, Jimmy, just like, this show is fucking bullshit. It's like, fuck you.
Nobody in my city is smart enough to be an engineer of anything, so I'm kind of I'm over that hump. That's not a problem.
I like it.
Yeah, I really like that that format and the set. Yeah, that was pretty much.
I left you speechless.
Yeah,
That seems to be the theme that's coming across here.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because it feels like a fucking cop out to not give you notes, but it's also like there's no way to give a note on that without seemingly ruining the structure of the entire 4-minute thing.
It was almost like trying to.
I knew someone was gonna say the fucking cement concrete thing. Like I could.
I did not at all. That was
two out of 4 figured it out. 2 out of 4 figured it out.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say it if no one else did, because I frankly don't care about the difference between concrete. But I guess if
say the cement is the flour and the concrete's the cookie. Is that what you're?
That's the saying. That's
the
a-
saying.
Yeah.
Sounds like Jimmy's got a new fucking shirt to sell, baby. That's some great merch you got there. It's like- I like it. That's fun.
Well, my brother-in-law would buy one for sure.
Yeah, one
He'd buy
pre.
4 because he's got 3 kids. So
Hell
he'd buy
yeah.
4.
You got 4 pre-sold. That's amazing. That's on Kickstarter. All right.
All right. Any more feedback, you guys?
No.
Well,
Okay.
Winston.
Cool. I got Voyages. That's what mine was. So we'll just go ahead and start, and I'm all over the map here. So I'll start with something about, like, I've never been on like a voyage in my life, because apparently, according to the definition of that word, it involves like a long crazy journey that involves either flight or going into space or going over the water. Never done that even a little bit. I think the greatest voyage of all time was Odysseus's in the Odyssey. I think that's the greatest voyage of all time, because it basically is a 400-page story about a guy who spends 10 years traveling the world trying to get back in time to keep his wife getting fucked by 108 people. That's literally the entire point of the Odyssey. If you read it, it's him lost at sea and his wife having 108 people there, spending all his fucking money, eating all his food, and trying to fuck his wife. That's literally all the entire book is. And it's like the greatest anti-cuck story of all time. Because she's not fucking anybody. She doesn't do it for the entire book. And he spends 7 years under the power of a really sexy wizard, just fucking the shit out of her. And then he gets to come home and kill the 108 guys that just kind of thought his wife was hot. And I think that's a great alt-right love story. I kind of love that. I think it's very impressive. I don't know. There's more to the Odyssey. But when Wikipedia only gives you the synopsis, I'm not really going to fucking read that book there. So let's hop into the other thing. Also, there's a self-driving car company called Voyage. They're one of the foremost self-driving car companies in the world. It's basically their whole thing is their goal right now is so that anyone in the country can ride in an autonomous vehicle that maxes out at 25 miles per hour. So basically, they're guaranteeing you will be the most annoying person on the road. You don't have to be behind the wheel of the car. Their next statement is your blinker will remain on the entire time, and your vehicle will stay in the left lane. All right, they guarantee it. It's guaranteed. It's got the Voyage. Also, it's like all of their investors, they have like an investors page, are all like businesses I've never heard of in my life. Not because they're made up, but because I don't make enough money to be aware of these businesses. Okay, it's not like, oh, it's McDonald's. It's like Benjamin Hamilton Investors. And I'm like, that sounds like a lot of money. All right, that's great. I'm so poor, I shouldn't even be aware that we have this technology. All right, like I think that when you're a certain level of poor, you shouldn't know about these types of things. Okay, all the job listings that I looked at underneath their business all involve at least one word that I don't know or understand. Here's a few of the job listings for Voyage. You could be a deep learning engineer. Don't understand that even a little bit. Autonomous fusion advisor, which sounds like some fucking thing from D&D. I don't even know what that is. Or this is a fun one. A Telesyst software engineer. So that's great. I knew software, I knew engineer, and then Telesyst, I had to Google how to pronounce. So that's where we're at in my job application. I think I could kill it with a fake resume, but the interview is like, hey, what position are you here for? And it's just like, I don't know, man. Any of these, do these need work? You got a fucking Mad Lib that I can fill out? I got a couple adjectives and a noun that I'm willing to put in front of you and say that I'll work this job for 2 to 3 months until you find out that the math is wrong. I'm assuming there is math. They're also like, their big focus is like, Voyage is like focusing on retirement communities. That's like who they're saying this is for. And it's just like, that's perfect, right? That's amazing. That's like, their big focus is people that is like, they can barely understand the concept of a smartphone, let alone the technology that goes into a self driving car. Okay, these are people that are still pretty upset that women are allowed to drive cars. Okay, so it's kind of a big deal to let them know that they're letting like magic nut like all of the they have like a bunch of old people giving reviews of the service, and it's literally just a bunch of old people in written form explaining why they shouldn't be allowed to drive. It's like, hey, I'm 107 years old. I've lived in this retirement community since 1985. And quite frankly, if we don't get this technology done, I'm probably going to run over somebody you love. So if we could go ahead and get this money going, isn't that a great, like, imagine like all the investment meetings that would go so amazingly well if you knew that if you didn't fund it, your loved ones will die. Okay. They're going to die. It's the end of the world. I think that might be, oh yeah, and the only last thing was just like, I don't know, I think that building the self-driving cars was the last resort, because I know if someone told me like, hey, we got to get these old people off the road, my first thought is, yeah, we should kill them. You're right. Euthanasia is a great call. Send them to a better place, which apparently it was Florida. All right, this was fun. Thank you for letting me work out this new fun material about voyages.
Woo, sweet. Yay.
Well, I personally cannot hear enough about retirement communities.
It's good. It's great.
I did like a lot of it, the Mad Lib portion. And when you said about 25 miles per hour, you could have probably added something like that. If you have enough time to travel from point A to point B at 25 miles per hour, do you really need to go there?
Oh, that's fair. I like that. You really to go there if you have the. I like that.
I'd probably phrase it: do you really have to go if you got that much time to kill?
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Awesome. Job interview. Cool. Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
That's it. I'm done.
I really like the bit about the Odyssey in the book, and you know,
thanks.
that really had me laughing, and yeah, just the absurdity of, like, you know, these sort of old time books that are supposed to be these classics and that are supposed to we're supposed to base our current knowledge and wisdom off of, and you know, the people back then were just as fucked as we are, and you know, but they didn't have like half of the knowledge at their disposal as we did. So like any way to keep exploring that and expanding and refining that. Like I think the bit about the Odyssey is great. So I would keep working on that. And yeah, I agree with Jimmy on the 25 mile an hour. I really like the bit about guaranteeing that, hey, you'll be the most annoying person on the on the road. That was another good one. I would, you know, milk that for whatever you have for it. So yeah, I mean, I thought particularly that front, yeah, your stuff was really strong.
Thanks, I really appreciate it. Awesome.
Sorry. I was thinking you could link that thing about like it being capped at 25 miles per hour and being annoying on the road to it being targeted at retirement communities, because like, well, what's changing? It's like the same externally. You know, the only different thing is it's not an actual old person driving, but the car is driving like an old person if they were behind the wheel.
Right.
Actually, it might have something too about if you're going to appeal to old people, it has to be a bigger vehicle than they actually need.
Oh, that's fair. I like that. Yeah, I could totally think about the applications of what would go into like a car that old people would like, that would drive by itself.
There's like a grandchild magnet or tracking device. That
is so good. I wish I'd thought of it. I won't use it. I swear to God. I don't do that. But I really.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys.
Also, because the Odyssey thing. You ever see Fantastic Voyage?
I'm aware of it, but no, I haven't seen it.
Never mind.
You can still give the note.
No.
It's not like I can't find out what it is like immediately after this thing.
That's that movie where they shrink down and go inside the person.
Okay.
But what if that was like a voyage? Like that was also a part of what the car did.
Oh, shrinking down and going into somebody.
Yeah. I don't know. That thought didn't lead to anywhere, but I feel like it's a fun. Thread.
I like it. Cool. Thanks for the notes, guys. I appreciate those a lot.
Okay. I guess it's my turn to tell jokes. My topic is Columbus. Okay. Columbus. Columbus. I mean, I know there's a Columbus like in Ohio, but it's there. So like everywhere in Ohio seems like the same place to me, unless they have roller coasters, in which case it's not. Columbus. I guess like everyone thinks about Christopher Columbus when you hear the word Columbus, saying how that's the person whose name the city bears. But I always wondered like what it would be like to live that long ago and just like drive across the ocean, because I don't know. I feel like I fancy myself a sane person, but if someone was like, "Hey, would you like to cross the ocean?" We don't know if we'll return, but I mean, there might be land on the other side. If there isn't, we were fucked, and we're gonna probably just die slowly and horribly, and probably be forced to use chunks of our friends' flesh to fish in hopes that one day we'll find fresh water. But if we don't, we'll be forced to drink seawater, and that'll only accelerate our descent into madness. Plus, there's scurvy. Anyway, you want to come? And you'd be like, no, unless you were like, I mean, you have to be pretty special to want to leave safe land and venture out to see what the world holds. Oh no. God. All right. But yeah, like I don't know. What that kind of threw me off. I don't know if I should keep going or what. Never mind. I'll keep going. Fucking yeah. Then when you like reach that land, you're like, oh shit, we found a new place to live, and it turns out there are people already there. Like, what the fuck? I'd be so mad. Honestly, like if I risked my life and limb to venture out across the world, and I get to a place and I'm like, oh wait, this isn't where I thought it was, but I found a new place, and then there are people there already. I'd be like, no, fuck you, you fucking. This is my land, which is basically what I think I would do. I don't know. Sorry, my brain isn't working right now. Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna continue. Any feedback, you guys?
I thought there was some stuff there. I thought there's some good potential for jokes, like when you're talking about Ohio. You know, at one point you said, "Oh, I think all the places in Ohio are the same, except if there's a roller coaster." So you could say something like, "There's two types of places in Ohio: those with roller coasters, and then shitty places," or something like that. Like something, something like that. But yeah, it'll obviously be a joke at Ohio's expense. But yeah, like and there's two types of places: those that have roller coasters and places that I have no interest in visiting. Something along those lines. Like when you were talking about the American settler, sort of going across the ocean, like you could maybe set up the premise where, yeah, no wonder America is going so crazy right now, because I think the American settlers were out of their minds to begin with. Like, who would go across the ocean to a land that they're not even sure is there? And all the things that you mentioned, scurvy and risking having to eat each other and drink seawater and all that sort of stuff. Who would do that but people who were out of their minds to begin with? Like, the other one is how England used to send all their prisoners to Australia. So maybe you could make some sort of comparison or some sort of analogy in that regard or something like that. Maybe the people who originally crossed the sea to go to America were, castaways or outcasts or, banished or whatever, and something like that. You could make that in a humorous way somewhere. And then when you said, when you got there and you found that people were already there, and I would be pissed. And I would just say, you know what, fuck, this is my land. That's what I do. Well, that's kind of what happened. So that can be the punchline to that, is like, yeah, I'd get there and I'd see these people there, like, well, no, fuck that. This is my land now. And oh, wait a second, that's what happened. And that can maybe be a punchline or something along that right there. But yeah, I thought there was good potential for stuff in there. So yeah, that's what I got.
I think there's a lot there. I've had a concept kicking around in my head forever and a day, and I've never been able to make it work. So I'll pass it on to you that maybe you can. Is this whole idea that Columbus discovered the Caribbean islands first, and then he discovered North America, and everybody decided to colonize North America, but then they want to go to the Caribbean islands for vacation. Like, why would they go to, would it not make more sense to settle in the Caribbean islands instead of if North America is so bad, you have to go to the Caribbean islands for vacation? Maybe you should have settled. Your grandparents are assholes. Is really what this is all coming to, because they went to North America and they didn't go to the Caribbean islands when they had the opportunity.
That's funny. My grandparents actually came from the islands to North America.
Then you have that's actually kind of a cool thing to say, which is you can sit there and say that, we did this, and the rest of you are doing the complete reverse by you're going back to our islands while we're coming up to North America.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. Any more feedback, you guys?
That's all I had.
Okay. Sweet. Well, this is the part where we tell actual jokes that are prepared. Or if you want to like scream the N-word at the top of your lungs, you can do that too. Fuck, I forgot the order in which we originally went. I believe, Jordan, you were first out of the people here. So let me know when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready to go. So I'm single, and if anything, I'm a little bit too okay with being single. Like, I think about relationships so little that even the basic questions throw me. Like, I was talking to my friend's dad, who I hadn't seen in a long time, and he goes, "How did you manage to make it to 40 without ever getting married?" I totally blanked. How do you explain the easiest thing you've ever done? All I had to do was be me. Like, and this guy's on his third marriage. So, like, I guess marriage keeps finding him. I don't have that problem. Like, I've never been walking down the street and had some van pull up and a bunch of bridesmaids leap out and chloroform me. I mean, throw me in the van, put a tuxedo on my unconscious body. Meanwhile, the bride's driving the van in her white gown, smoking a stogie like Hannibal from the A-Team. I mean, weddings don't happen that way. Because if they did, I think a lot more guys would be stoked on getting married. The kidnap element just makes it fun. Now marriage actually is an adventure. And newsflash, ladies, none of which are in this room right now, we dream about our wedding day too. It's supposed to be our day. But my nephew, he's 10, so he's at that age where you start to notice girls, maybe get that first crush. It's exciting. And if I had any advice for him, it would be, buddy, giving up, not as bad as everyone says. I wish I'd done it a lot sooner. For some reason, people look down on abandoning any hope for love. If anything, it has freed me. It has set me free. It's allowed me more time to focus on other areas of my life, like beatboxing and practicing my nunchucks. I'm getting good at nunchucks. It's been almost a month since I've broken a lamp or had to wear an eye patch. The annoying thing about it is just those people who give you that resistance. Like I remember when I was in college, this one girl got in my face. She goes, "You know what love is? Love is giving everything and expecting nothing in return." Well, being single is giving nothing and expecting nothing in return. Sounds like one of us is getting a way better deal. Or here's the other one. Love is giving someone the power to destroy you, but trusting them not to. Like, Jesus, where'd you learn that? Cobra Kai? Like, that sounds like something that Nicolas Cage would put on his Bumble profile. I get that I have my hangups, and I do want my nephew to give it a fair shot. So I mean, say Valentine's Day is coming up, and he says, "There's this girl in my class. I'm thinking of giving her a box of chocolates to tell her that I like her. Should I do it?" Here's where I would say, round of applause. How many people would tell him to go for it? And everybody goes, "Yay!" And I goes, "Hey, that's sweet. Here's the correct answer." Actually, it's a question. I would ask him the same question that I should have asked myself with every crush I ever had. Dude, does this girl actually like you back? Or do you just really hope she does? Like what are you trying to accomplish with this here? Like, are you hoping this girl will magically start liking you just because you gave her a box of chocolates? And even if she did, who are these women and where do I find them? I imagine you guys are looking at me right now and thinking, wow, this guy's got his shit together. I think I'm staring at the dream, and he looks like a cross between a murderer and a character from South Park. Maybe one day I can be as single as he is. Maybe one day I can eat cereal for dinner and have my grocery list be beer and candy. It's just a matter of being secure in your insecurity. That's my secret. I know you're thinking, wow, that's really profound. And also, what the fuck are you talking about? And yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about where that bit ends. So.
You guys have any feedback?
Yeah, I really liked it. The bridesmaid comment I thought was absolutely inspired. I thought that was a really great one right there. And I especially liked your nunchucks. I would probably preface it by, saying being single, you have the latitude to do every stupid thing you really want to do and then go into the nunchucks. That being said, if you're really serious about nunchucks, I take that comment back. But you might even go into other stupid things you could do just because you're single.
Yeah, I guess what I was trying to go with the setup is I could say something, because the idea is like, oh, I can focus on other areas of my life, assuming important areas of your life, and then I say something stupid like beatboxing, and so maybe I go the opposite and say like, yeah, other important areas of my life like beatboxing and practicing my nunchucks, with the joke being that like, yes, I've got free time to enrich other parts of my life, and I just choose it to do something really stupid and pointless.
Piss it away.
Yeah.
That's for me. Winston, what do you got, buddy?
Man, I thought it was great, man. I think it's awesome. Is all that stuff like super new? Have you been doing that for a little while?
Like I've done it at a few mics and stuff, so it's roughly like a week old or so. Cool. I think this was like the 5th time I've performed it. So
cool.
Like I've done it for live audiences, and some stuff has gotten some like the early stuff, being too okay, well, what's the line? How do you explain the easiest thing you've ever done?
Yeah, that's great.
That stuff's gotten laughs. Like the analogy with the van pulling up, like that's gotten mixed results. Like it's gotten laughs sometimes, other times not so much. And then The one starting with the whole Valentine's Day thing, like that one, I'm still working on. I haven't
Okay.
I haven't gotten that to work yet. Like I haven't really gotten laughs for that one yet. So
Well,
that's the one I'm still trying to figure out.
Okay, I really like the I mean, like you said it's been working, but that line about how do you explain just something you know what I mean? Just like, and it's like I think about like that's just how most athletes must feel when people are just like, my God, how do you dunk a basketball? And it's just like, let's fucking do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
that was the thing I thought of it. It's like, like how are you going to ask Aaron Judge how to hit home runs? That was the first, but I don't know if there's enough baseball fans in Vancouver to really kind of get like that might actually be an obscure reference here. But,
yeah,
but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something like an athlete. I mean, like it's something where it's like you can. I mean, you could pick. If you're going to pick an athlete, I would pick an athlete that's bigger than the sport. So either someone like Jordan or LeBron or I mean, Barry Bonds is outdated, but he was the last real baseball player that's bigger than the sport. Like Mike Trout might be the closest thing, but but that might be tougher because he's obviously in the U.S. based, and I don't know what, but I think universal stuff like basketball feels more. I don't know, like you have more athletes that are bigger than the sport itself or their teams.
Everybody's heard of Michael Jordan or LeBron, so that I think that's probably the best. And
but it's a great line.
That's a slam dunk.
Yeah, it's a great. But that's a great line, man. I really like that idea, and it just. But my first thought was like, who are some other like what's a like that's such a silly thing to be like, oh, I've just naturally been good at my whole life, or just the thing I've been the best at, and like, but what are some other people that probably get those same types of questions, and they're just fucking like, yeah, man, I don't. Like there's some people are just made better than others. Like I don't know how to explain to you that I am just better at putting this basketball through the hoop than anyone else who's ever fucking lived.
I like the way you put that. Some people are made better than others, and there might be a line in there. Yeah, some people are made better than others, and I just repel women better than anybody.
Yeah, or just like I don't know, just pictured you. And this is silly and dumb, and you might not want to stretch the joke out that long, especially if it's already working. But just like I like the idea of just like what would the press conference be like if people are asking you questions about how are you so single for so long, and just like what's the after game press conference of being like I want to do this, I got to make time for my nunchucks and my beatboxing, and sometimes you got to put the team before everybody else. I mean, I'm dedicated to, and it's the exact opposite of the NBA because you're the exact opposite. You're like, I'm not here to get a ring. All right, I'm here for literally everything other than getting a ring. But I liked it. That was my favorite bit of what you did. But the reason I asked if you'd done it before is it's that 5 minutes or so kind of felt like. Even if the jokes aren't fully done, you're kind of figuring out the structure of that 5 minutes, and I think the order of them seemed pretty good. So it's like I think continuing to work on them in that order, and then but yeah, that was a good set, man. I enjoy your stuff.
Here's a question, because the one line that I like just with that later part that I'm still struggling with is does this girl like you back, or do you just really hope she does? And like I'm hoping that's like a punchline on its own, but it hasn't been working out that way. And I'm just I like it as a concept, but I just that's what I'm still trying to figure out how to make that funny.
Well, what if it was does this girl like you back, or is she just nice?
Okay, she just being nice. Yeah.
I don't know. I think. And obviously everybody's like style is different, but like if the way that my brain looks at that is it's like does this girl really like you, and then I would look at like what the reality is, which is people really or are you just a fucking idiot, you know what I mean? Like it's like there's no in between. Either she likes you back or you're fucking stupid for thinking that. But that might be too harsh. I don't really, you know what I mean, for what you try to do. But my mind is just like, am I a moron? Like it's because that's how I feel when you find out a girl doesn't like you. Like, yeah, I'm the dumbest person that's ever lived. Like, what am I?
Yeah, because that could be a good thing I go into is where I could find an example of where, I just, I thought I could like her enough for the both of us kind of thing. I was
that's funny.
Rooted that, because as you guys can guess, my humor is pretty self-deprecating. And this wouldn't be an opening bit because I would probably preface it with some bits about how I'm an introvert and how, this sort of stuff. So people would kind of have a feel for me by the time I would get to this bit. And, but yeah, that's an idea of just, make it a bit more about me?
Yeah.
You know, are you like me and just really hope she does or something like
I mean,
that?
I like,
or are you just deluded, or you just,
yeah.
you know?
I mean, I like the line you just said, man. I really like that idea of like, it's like, don't worry, you don't have to like me because I like you enough for the both of us. Like, that's just such a, I mean, that's a good, I think a lot of relationships have failed because of that. It's just like, don't worry, you don't have to like, you don't even have to be in the room. All right. I will like you so much. Just the thought of you, just put it on Facebook or whatever. But yeah, man, I think that I thoroughly have enjoyed your stuff tonight. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
You need more jokes about concrete. That's the only thing I'll say is you got a brother-in-law and you're not mining that. Like, what are you doing? Come on.
Cement mining. Well, there's a
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah, I was thinking like, oh yeah, when you did the bit about the one you were talking about your nephew or whatever. When you said where are the girls that would give them chocolate or whatever in there whatever. I was thinking that you were setting up a thing where you were gonna like steal your nephew's girl. Like that'd have been a hilarious like pedophilia joke. Like, he's like,
Yeah, one thing I thought of was like, you know, does she have a mother? Does she have an aunt? Does a lonely aunt, like something like that? Or, you know, we could you know, me and the nephew could double date or something like that.
well, yeah, but okay, never mind.
Well, no. I'm just kind of bouncing off here, but I get what you're saying too. Is that like, yeah, I'm trying to, you know, like, or I could say something like, you know, oh yeah, she likes you just because you bought her a box of chocolates. Well, then, you know, I'll buy her a bigger box of chocolates or something like that. You know, something.
Yeah, it just turns into like a ridiculous thing. It's like, yeah, I think that people would laugh at that. Any more feedback, you guys?
No, I thought that was great.
Yep. Very good.
Okay, Jimmy, if I'm not mistaken, you're up next.
Well, there we go. Let me just start my watch so that I'll have two things timing me, you and my watch.
All right.
All right. Okay. Judging by the look on your face, I guess we should get the important stuff out first. My medic alert bracelet is on my right arm. I get that request a lot, mostly from healthcare professionals. A lot of young people in the audience. Of course, you get to be my age. Most of them are young people. Well, this is it. This is what your future looks like. I did not do drugs. I did not have a drink until I was 22. I did not smoke. I did not have sex until I got married. And this is what I look like. Future doesn't look quite so rosy now, does it? Look at this face. I take my clothes off. I look like Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm used to playing a lot of gigs in rooms with bright lights, which I'm finding very disconcerting. I've reached an age where I see a bright light and I just feel compelled to move towards it. I'm 70 years old and I'm turning into a moth. They warn you about heart disease. They warn you about diabetes. They don't tell you that when a flash goes off, you're going to move towards it going, Grandma, is that you? So I am officially into my golden years. They're called the golden years because you spend so much time in the bathroom. I am in there so often I am doing trick shots. Meanwhile, my wife is outside going, just hit the damn ball. She has a surprisingly masculine voice. I handled the isolation really well, but I'm glad that the stores are open because I need a new pair of shoes. Am I the only one who thinks it's weird that you have to wear socks when you try on shoes, but if you try on pants, nobody checks to see if you're wearing underwear? I mean, it's not like feet fart or anything like that. I just find it so strange because my feet are very trustworthy, but I find my genitals highly suspicious. I used to not know what the hell they were getting into. Now it's a little different story, of course. Now they're on the list for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Sadly, it was my wife who put them on. No, no, that's a little dark for some people, and I get that. But that's okay. You get to be my age, you got to be realistic about the future. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when somebody younger than me passes away and everybody goes, well, it was his time. Then they all look at me like I'm the family pet nobody has the heart to put down. I tell you pee on the couch once, nobody lets you forget it. No, the thing is that people do not credit old people for being problem solvers, and that's not true at all. Now, you take my friend Larry. Larry was losing his eyesight, so he thought he should learn Braille. And he tried for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He just wasn't getting it. Then Larry had a brainstorm. He had the dots put on his penis. Learned Braille in one night. But that's not the amazing part. The amazing part is his wife can do exactly the same thing using her tongue. Swear to God. I am actually a big supporter of women, so I don't want you to get the wrong idea about me. I really am. And that's despite the fact that women do have a lot of advantages over men. For instance, did you know that women on average will live 5 years longer than men? This is known as the Harvey Weinstein differential. It's the extra time women get because men are such dicks. It's kind of like stoppage time in soccer, except women get the time and we get sent off. And we are dicks. Let's be honest here. You have to be a dick to buy a $29.95 inflatable sex doll, because it says on the box, feels like a real woman. A real woman does not feel like vinyl and Vaseline. Well, she doesn't feel like vinyl. And here's a tip. Real women do not come with a puncture repair kit. On the plus side, if it doesn't work out, you can use it as a pool toy. You just have to explain why it's got a cup holder on both sides. And that's all I think I'm going to do.
Woo!
7 seconds left. Did I call it or what?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
High five.
You guys have any feedback?
I enjoyed it. Like I particularly liked your opening, and I thought, I thought it was really smart, obviously, to sort of, you were sort of playing to young people, like, hey, this is what you can expect, and I thought that was a good way to start off and endear yourself to the younger comedy going crowd. One tiny, like, very nitpicky, in the same category as cement and concrete thing.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm all for these notes. These are my favorite notes. The fucking super specific.
But that's the way you word it.
I am writing your name down if I ever get to Vancouver. Okay,
yeah, I
Jordan?
love it. It's amazing.
But your joke about your buddy learning Braille by putting it on his dick, I might just word it like, and the amazing thing is his wife can read Braille with her tongue, like using the words read Braille with her tongue. That might allow the audience to just make the connection on their own. And it might make it a little bit funnier.
To be honest with you, I left out a line. It should have been he learned Braille in one night. Now Larry can run his finger over a line of dots and tell you exactly what it says, but that's not the amazing part. His wife can do exactly the same thing with her tongue. Without that line, I knew I was. Yeah. I knew if anybody was going to bring it up, it was going to be you. Yeah, that would have been clear.
You missed that line.
I still got the joke. Even though you skipped that line, I still got the joke. But yeah, with that line put in, that sort of
that frames it.
That's awesome. Yeah. You were just begging for a note from Jordan. You were like, you were fucking begging for it, Jimmy.
I think you set me up, man. I think you deliberately left that out, and you said, "Okay, well, watch this asshole." Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew all about cement and concrete, by the way.
Yeah, Jimmy knows.
I'm 70. You learn stuff.
Well, one thing from that bit. What if that was like all of a sudden, like her best friend also could read Braille with her tongue, and she got suspicious. He's like, wait a minute, and like it turned out like everyone was reading Braille all of a sudden, and that was never mind. I don't want to.
No, I get what you're saying. It's like sort of discovering an affair, and that's how that's how she knew I was sleeping with her with her best friend is when her best friend knew how to read Braille, like with her tongue or whatever. No, I get it. That's sort of a good add-on. If you,
But you know, it's interesting. My best friend all of a sudden can read Braille with her asshole.
You know what? All of these are all of those are valid comments, and I'm going to think about the girlfriend. Although the nature of my comedy is such that kind of stuff with younger guys would go over. That's kind
You
of
don't do a lot of Braille asshole jokes, Jimmy.
I don't know.
You don't have a lot of jokes about fucking dirty whores, and that's crazy, Jimmy. You don't have bits about that?
I've got the look. I know. What can I tell you?
That's crazy.
This is Andrew Dice Clay. It just looks at you. Agent Andrew Dice Clay.
That's what I wanted to be like. I love tying concrete to whores' legs and throwing them in the river. It's like, oh my God, Jimmy's so edgy. I thought it was great, Jimmy, man. I like it, man. I like this whole dais of people. I think the thing that I've enjoyed the most about you and Jordan's comedy, this is like just a compliment for both of y'all. Like I kind of I know I've seen both of y'all do 2 5-minute sets, and I kind of know what you guys are about, and that's pretty cool. Like I like that, where it's like I feel like I now know you guys well enough that like if I saw you do another joke and it didn't really fit with what y'all were doing, I could feel comfortable telling you a note like, hey, Jimmy, I don't think this like works with what your vibe is, because you both seem to be kind of aware of what works for you, which is pretty awesome and always really, I don't know how long you two guys have been doing comedy, but that's always like just a cool thing to see in any amount of time or length that someone's been doing comedy, somebody that's at least on the way to figuring out what their voice is. So I think that's really awesome.
If I can live till 110, I'll have this nailed.
Absolutely, that'd be. If you live to 110, you'll get one of those self-driving cars. They'll come pick you right up. You look great for 70, by the way. It's like when you said 70, you look great. You still.
That's because I'm sitting down.
Yeah, you stand up. Yeah.
I'm actually 6'6" when I stand up. So.
Holy Lord, holy shit! It's a lot of man there, Jimmy. Good God. Self-aware old dudes always kill, man. I'm sure you do extremely well at shows and stuff. There's literally nothing better than like watching someone who's self-aware and 70 and still sharp, and like that when an audience of people that is usually younger than you sees you, you're answering all those questions at the top of your set. Like you got some great opening lines in there, and I loved my favorite line in the whole thing because it took me completely by surprise. I love the blow up doll in the pool, cup holders on both ends. That is a very, very good line, Jimmy. That is a great line. It is a good way to skirt being gross without having to do asshole Braille shit or whatever. But like, it's a good way to like kind of skirt the. I don't know. That's about as edgy as I think you can get.
I have been trying to work that joke into something for 4 years, literally.
That's amazing. Yeah, work it in there. I don't know. That line is really good, and also. If you could point me in the direction of whichever store has them on sale for $29.99, that would be amazing. Unless that's Canadian, and then it's the same amount here.
Well, you'll find them in the balloon animal section.
Balloon animals, hell yeah! But that was a great set, man. Everyone's done really well tonight. This was awesome. So
thank you. I'm sure you'll continue the trend.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Okay, any more feedback, you guys?
That's all I got.
Okay, I was really proud of that, by the way. I need to get shot down.
No, it's not the bit. It's that we're making fun of the fact that it's like Jimmy can't do it. It's not anything to do with he cannot do it. He can't do it. You're also in this show telling us, just like, if you guys want to scream the N-word, come on, we're not.
I mean, some people do it. You know, it's a fun time for everybody.
Yeah, I know I have a Nazi haircut, but I don't have a Nazi heart.
No, that's a trick right there. But no, the note wasn't bad. It's just laughing at the idea of Jimmy talking that dirty would be gross.
I've only said fuck 3 times on stage in 5 years. So really,
what happened? Were they part of the jokes or just like?
No, I think I
forgot where you were.
Pretty much. I was having an Alzheimer's moment. You know, you come up on stage to do jokes. Next thing you know, you're wandering around looking for a place to pee. It's just what happens when you're 70 years old.
Yeah. Man, that is impressive. 3 times in 5 years. That's crazy. That's amazing. I'm lucky if I can do 3 in 5 minutes. So
it's okay. Just what I do.
I like it, man. I like it. Everyone's done great tonight. This is awesome.
Sweet. Well, hopefully it'll continue. You're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin.
Cool. I'll do. I got this whole list of newer stuff I've been working on. So let's do it. And begin. I quit my teaching job. I actually gave my 2 weeks notice, and that just finished up. I think it's amazing that teachers are allowed to give a 2 weeks notice. Okay, because I am not a dude that should have been allowed to stick around for 2 weeks with kids after I've given up. Okay, that's not really what you want from your teachers. Okay, it's crazy. I unmolded a lot of minds over the course of those 14 days. I undid about 4 years because I no longer was tied down to a lesson plan or an IEP or a school district. I got to teach what I wanted to teach, okay? And that just meant my students would come in, they'd be like, Mr. Hodges, what are we learning about today? And I got to be like, put your mask on, pussy, because we're learning how to throw tear gas back at the cops. Let's go, get in the bus, let's do this thing. And don't worry, Republican students, I have a well-rounded curriculum. So I have stuff for you too. You guys hop in the bus, we're going downtown, and we're gonna put the statues back up, all right? I got something for everybody in my class. 4 more years until I get tenure. So it's very exciting. I also I've lied to every woman I've ever dated. I'm a big liar to women, it's what I do. But it's not the typical lies that men have, okay? Here's a great example. The last girl I dated, I came home at 3 a.m. I had glitter all over my face, and she was like, okay, I guess somebody was at the strip club tonight. And of course, I got to lie to her. Jimmy, I had to look her in the eyes and be like, you are correct. I was at a strip club. I was definitely not making a vision board with my friends. You're absolutely correct. That's what I was doing, okay? This is cocaine. This is not flour from making sourdough with my mother. That is not what I was doing tonight. Gotta be a badass, you know. I also found out one of my friends who is a comedian was at an open mic the other night, and he told us all before the show that he used to do porn. He used to be a porn star, and he was showing everybody at the show his porno. And he asked me, Winston, do you want to see my porn? And I had to be like, that's a hard pass for me, David. I'm 30 years old, and quite frankly, I can't handle finding out you're my favorite porn star. I think that that's a game changer if I've ever had one in my life. I can't be up at 4 a.m. and being like, hey, David, can I get the link to your OnlyFans? I'm just trying to finish and go to sleep. I would really appreciate that. That'd be really nice. The last girl I dated, every time she would climax, she would say she was sorry, which is crazy because I was like, that's my line. I can't believe I didn't even know women were allowed to say that in bed. She does it with a completely different attitude than I used to do it, way less tears. But don't worry, guys. She solved the problem for me. It wasn't anything crazy. I asked her about it. She goes, no, Winston, it's not you. I'm just an easy comer. And I was like, that was not necessary to say. Actually, that was very hurtful. I felt like we could have kept that to yourself. And this is my father's funeral and my mother's here. So if you could keep it down, it would be great if you weren't screaming that over the body. Here's the thing. I live in DC now, but originally I'm from Richmond, Virginia. The capital of the Confederacy is what it was. And a lot of people in this area didn't want to take down the Confederate statues because they said, if you take down the statues, you'll forget the history. That's not how it works, okay? But I really wish it did, because I would love if we took down that statue and I just forgot 18 years of Virginia history education. You can't look like this and know that much about Confederate generals. I can't get it out of my brain. I wish I didn't know. Nobody wants to be on Jeopardy and be able to answer the question, what was the name of Robert E. Lee's horse, before he quits asking it, all right? Nobody wants to be like, what's the name? It's Traveler. Can we keep going? Okay, let's go. Most bloodiest one day of the Civil War, Antietam, all right? Bloodiest 2 days of the Civil War, Shiloh. Bloodiest battle of the Civil War, Gettysburg, okay? And we won that one. And then you got to look at me and be like, what side is he talking about when he says we won? Which one? What is that? Do we have to Google that now? Is that a thing we have to? Wikipedia? I got like 20 seconds left, so I'll do this one. My ex used to gaslight me all the time. That's what she used to do. We would get into an argument, and I would be like, "You didn't say that," and she'll be like, "I know what I said." And so I was like, "Okay, that's just how this works." So the next night, I'm like, "I didn't say that," and she's like, "I know what I heard," which basically means the only thing that I know is she told me we were pretty happy. That's what she kept telling me up until she said it was my fault that we broke up and that I needed to leave her the keys to the car. But that's my time. You guys were wonderful. Thank you so much for letting me try out this new material.
Hey. You guys have any feedback?
I really like your delivery. You've got a very humorous delivery, like you've got sort of a very dry, like, almost deadpan kind of, like, I mean, you really sort of hit your punch as well, and they make me laugh quite a bit.
Thanks, man.
I liked your bit about your last 2 weeks as a teacher.
Yeah.
And one thing to possibly add is, I had so much fun teaching these kids like this vigilante lessons in those last 2 weeks. I was actually inspired to teach again. But then they wouldn't let me, okay, no, I want to stay, but no, you can't let me because, you just slashed the principal's tires or something. So,
like
something
that.
like that. But like the ironic twist is that, you had so much fun in your last 2 weeks that you were re-inspired to teach again, and then you could take that in any direction you wanted.
Awesome. Yeah, I've done that a handful of time on Zoom, and I've done it maybe once or twice in person down here. And I've been at this weird place where it's like I have a bunch of material about the statues and stuff like that in general, and I'm just trying to figure out. I usually will go into like a 7-minute bit, with that being the opener is what I've tried. But like for that 2 weeks notice thing, I'm trying to, and I appreciate the note because now I can try something. I'm just trying to find a way, like, is that something that I can just stretch out and that'll be 2 to 3 minutes on its own, or does it only, because I tried something once that was like on a Zoom show because my friend gave me a note of like what were some other like really fucked up lessons that I could teach, like just like math isn't real, science is a lie, accept your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and like just stuff like that. But I don't want it to undercut the whole thing. So that's a nice note to like I can sit down and maybe just try to write about like how I wanted to come back, and maybe that's a good way to take those ideas and be like, I had all this entire new lesson plan I wanted to teach, and just having a big list of that. So that was awesome. So I appreciate that note. So that's definitely like a thing that I thought about and didn't fucking know what to do.
Yeah, cool.
You have a real gift for picking the right word. I love the fact when you said you were unmolding a lot of minds.
Thank you.
That was brilliant. I really like that. I also like the stuff when you got into about the Confederate, how all this Confederate knowledge that you know because you were in Richmond, Virginia. I just thought that was really, really good. And for the record, I also knew that Traveler was Lee's horse as well. So we don't have a lot to watch in Canada, so I've watched Ken Burns' Civil War about 6 times. And
it's just so weird is but my dad used to be a history teacher, and like I used to love history, so we would go to all the battlefields and just in Virginia, like 2 years of school is you take Virginia history, and 80% of that class is the Civil War because 80% of the battles of the Civil War happened in the state of Virginia. Yeah. So it's like this whole. And it's just like, but there's no way to be this white and have an accent and walk around and know that much about the Confederacy and not come across as a sympathizer. So I'm just trying to like find a way to like use this knowledge for good.
It's a good premise. Like it's a really good premise.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good. I'm glad you like the unmolding minds. I don't know. Lines like that. You guys obviously know when you have a line like that you put in for yourself, you don't ever know if people even think it's funny.
you ran over it a bit, and that like you went on to something else. Like it was clear that you said it, but you didn't see it as something that was really noteworthy.
Yeah, I never see it as like a huge a punch, but just like a small thing for some people to catch, because I just assume people are going to be like, it's like, yeah, we get it, buddy. Let's get on to the big punch.
I really liked it. I just think like that one bit about Virginia, it would have been like a little bit better if you just said the N-word.
Yeah, if I just said it, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll just that's the big closer for my last set ever. I'll make sure to do that if I ever get a special. That'll just be the name of it. Stick around to the end. He says the N word.
I actually used it once on stage. I did a bit about playing basketball, and I played with.
Jesus Christ, Jimmy!
I did. I was the only white guy playing with 9 black guys basketball, and I got so familiar with everybody. I'm starting to do Bill Cosby routines, and then I kind of segued into Richard Pryor, at which point I used the N word, and I have to. And at the end of it, I ended up with a basketball up my ass. So if you're going to say it, I figure you should have there should be a consequence if you're a white guy saying that. So that's what I had built into it. But I have to say, as soon as the word came out of my mouth, the whole room, just everybody inhaled, and there was no oxygen left in the room because everybody's going.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't matter if you write a consequence into the joke. If you're a white guy and say it on stage, there will be some after the show. So
Oh, yeah.
there's going to be some natural consequences. Jesus, Jimmy, holy shit!
Well, I did one other one that was I never saw.
Does it mean something different in Canada? Holy fucking Christ!
One I did use was I never saw a black person in real life till I was 14 years old. Someone brought one in for show and tell.
Jesus, fuck.
It was a different time.
Jesus, that's funny though. I like that.
It gets the laugh, but again, there's that same gasp beforehand, and
yeah, that's a good joke though,
which is kind of cool.
Well, I heard a bit one time because it was interesting. You mentioned basketball. I heard a bit from a young black comedian in Toronto, and he said if white guys are going to say the N word, then they need to be able to dunk. Like that was the joke. But I thought that was pretty funny. And you're 6'6", so can you dunk, Jimmy? Like, I mean, you know.
After high school, oddly enough, I couldn't do it in high school to save my life. In fact, I only played 1 year of high school. I had all the moves of somebody famous. Unfortunately, it was Stephen Hawking, so that whole thing didn't work out.
Holy shit!
So any more feedback, you guys?
I'm not saying a word after that, you know.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn to tell jokes. Okay. So here we go. Speaking of, you remember when Stephen Hawking was alive? Yeah, he always used to freak me out when I was a kid because he was barely able to move, and they had that thing that would translate his little finger movements into people words. And I'd always wondered if somehow his translation software had become self-aware. Like it was just giving us all these awesome theories and shit, and he had just been trying to type "kill me" the whole time.
That's funny.
Because we would never know. We'd never know. I used to think that Nicolas Cage was just where they put you when you don't have any nickels. I went to go buy a shotgun the other day, and did you know they stopped giving you the dipping sauce for free? Like now they're like, oh, you gotta pay an extra 89 cents for this cup of sauce, like almost a whole dollar. And I'm like, how am I supposed to like put this gun in my mouth without sauce? And they're like, well, if you pay us money, you can. But when I was a kid, it used to be free. You know, like what does this world come to? Fucking disgusting. Everybody I work with always thinks I'm too serious. So one day I was like, I'll show them. So I walked up to a random guy and I was like, hey man, do you think that if they start like arresting people for like jaywalking or like blinking too slow and making you feel stupid because they're blinking slow because they want you to know that they think you're stupid, if they take all those people and they put them in like a big ass coliseum full of cameras, they don't feed them for a few weeks, they make them all fight to the death, and their prize is they get to eat the people that they kill, and that's all they get to eat. You think they'd be on like regular TV or like a subscription service like HBO? And he was just like, I think I'm being like Amazon or something. And he like walked away. So the next day I walked up to a different guy and I was like, hey man, do you think that pregnant women are the turduckens of cannibalism? And he was just like, nope. And he left. Yeah, they were all getting food one time and they were like, hey, do you want anything? And I was like, oh, where are you guys going? And they were like, oh, we're going to Wendy's. And I don't like Wendy's because their hamburgers are square. Because I don't eat anything with corners because I don't want to cut myself. Plus, there could be anything hiding around those corners. You know, there could be like a robber. Like you open it up, a robber hops out. He's like, "Give me all your money." And you're like, "Oh fuck, I spent it all at Wendy's. All 4 of my dollars." I like drink. You guys like coffee? Coffee's cool, but I hate how they give it to it like the lid on it and shit. Because I guess the lid's supposed to keep the heat in or something. But it's always already more than hot enough, you know. And I don't want to nuke my mouth, so I always just pop the lid off. But as I was walking up the street with my lidless coffee, I realized the lid isn't to keep the heat in; it's to keep people from throwing change in your coffee. Hmm. You ever hear that thing about how in ancient Egypt the pharaohs used to have their servants buried with them? Like when the pharaoh died, the servants would be like buried. You think the servants ever pulled a weekend at Bernie's? Because if you think about it, they did have the perfect way of preserving a dead person for a really long time. I don't think they just like stumbled onto that. You know, I feel like they got like the Jim Henson of ancient Egypt to like puppeteer the body like a ventriloquist mummy. Started making up rules like, hey, make all the buildings triangle. I think in the future, all buildings are going to be triangle or like spheres or something. I'm not talking about pyramids either. I'm talking about actual 2-dimensional triangles. You can't see them, but they're there. And they've always been there watching us. You ever be at home like reclining and eating a bowl of like cereal or like ramen noodles or something, and sorry, and watching TV, and you reach that perfect angle, but you realize at that angle the bowl is blocking the TV. So you run down to the plastic surgeon and get a bowl inserted into your torso so it doesn't break the plane. Then one day you're running on the beach with no shirt and someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, what is that in here? Is that like a divot? And you're like, yeah, it's my bowl divot. And they start like feeling around it and they stick their head inside and they go up and you go up and they're like, whoa, holy shit, you're like a human hat. And you're like, well, I guess I am like a human hat. What the fuck? So you run down to the patent office and take the patent out on being a human hat, just start renting yourself out as a human hat. Then one day you make enough money where you can just hire a bunch of people to do it for you. You just hire a bunch of contortionists because a contortionist can be a type of hat, any type of hat you want. You know, you can be like, hey, be a top hat. Then they twist their body in some ungodly way and you got yourself a top hat. I think that's where all top hats come from. When I was a kid, I used to have a pet turtle, but it died and I kind of forgot about it because it was around the same time my Xbox died and I felt way worse about that. Wait, did I say Xbox? I meant parents. Okay, I'm done. Thanks, guys. Any feedback?
I really liked it. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of good one-liners, and so, and obviously, sort of very kind of strange, comedy and that sort of stuff. So that, like, I really thought it worked and that sort of thing. I like your opening bit about Stephen Hawking because I've kind of wondered that too. Like, what if what the machine's saying isn't really what he's thinking, isn't really what he wants to say? What if somebody else is controlling it with a remote control or something? Like, how do we know that's what he really wants to say? Like, I've wondered that myself. So I thought that was a really good joke. But yeah, like all in all, I quite liked it. I mean, it is a lot of short sort of one hitters, so it's hard to kind of keep them all remember everything because it's just coming at you so fast. But yeah, no, I liked your whole vibe and I liked your style, and yeah, no, I thought it was a good set.
You might have, I like the Stephen Hawking bit too, and you might actually have an extra thing of there if you said that he confused me. He looked like the worst transformer ever. And I like
names, so, not Optimus Prime or whatever, but you could give it some name that's off of a transformer, character. Think of something.
Especially if you could maybe pay the physicist angle, if you could kind of work that into it somehow. But I don't have, like Jordan, I don't have an answer to what that angle is. I also, I like to change, you have the coffee lid on the coffee cup.
Yeah, that's a great joke.
Yeah, that was good.
The only thing I would say about that is I think you need to frame it as yourself. I'm assuming you're dressed in such a fashion that people would do that. Obviously, somebody like me walking down the street, they're not going to do it to me. But yeah, so somehow you got to make it a little more relevant to you, because as a general observation, it doesn't work because there's a lot of people it wouldn't make sense. But if you see somebody Not saying you look like a street person. Don't take this wrong, but if you do look like a street
yeah.
person, you're more inclined to think that of them. So that's
But
all.
but on a stage though, like they're able to see his whole body. So depending on how he's dressed, like we're only just seeing like his face. So
No, I got that. I kind of get that he is on a stage. I'm assuming as much.
Yeah.
For all I know, he's a really smart dresser on stage with a suit and power tie. What do I know? It's very nice of you, Jordan, to make that observation and just put him into that little niche that you created for people who don't identify cement from concrete. That's okay. And I'm done.
And I normally wear like a barrel.
a barrel of toothpaste on it. Huh?
That'd be
with
great.
A hole drilled in the front. It's like
Yeah, for your dick.
personal glory hole.
No, yeah, man, the Stephen Hawking joke is great. That's awesome. I really like that. That's a great premise. And just really like honestly, the punch at the end is great about, of course, the guy that's fucking a quadriplegic and can't fucking talk. Of course, the only thing he's trying to write is kill me. So I like that. I think that's a great take. That's a great joke. I thought the change of the coffee was a great joke. That made me laugh quite a bit. And I really liked the servants in ancient Egypt doing like a weekend at Bernie's. Like I love that, like a weekend at Tuts or a weekend at Tutankhamun's, because I'm just trying to think of what wacky hijinks they would get into, to avoid being buried alive with their master or whatever. But I liked it, man. It's super different, unique, and weird. And I've got no notes, just like the performative bit you have where you're talking about the bowl in your stomach. It's like I can't give any notes on that because it's like the same thing. Anything I would give would just derail that whole like line of thinking. But I like it, man. I think it's super different and super unique, and I enjoyed it. And I like it's just such a long way to go to get to the top hat joke that I think it kind of works perfectly. So good set, man. I liked it.
I also like the turducken joke, the pregnant woman, the turducken of cannibals. Though that's
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good one.
That's not going to come from anywhere else. Like, yeah, no one else is going to think of that. That's sort of a cool thing. And like, yeah, anything to add, sort of, maybe whoever you were talking to, like a weirded out reaction, anything to get that across, just sort of their discomfort, their awkwardness, or something like that from, having that proposed to them. Anything, yeah, can help. But I like the joke.
Cool. Thanks. Any more feedback, you guys?
No, that's great.
Well, thus concludes another thrilling episode of the workshop. Now's the time where if you have anything to plug, you do it. Jordan, I'll start with you. Do you have any like social media or anything you want to promote?
No, I am the worst Facebooker who's ever booked a fake. So no, I'm not a big social media guy, and I haven't been doing this long, so I'm just kind of getting whatever stage time I can. So yeah, no, I'm not headlining any shows or anything like that. So no, just I'm here to work on stuff, and yeah, had a good time. So thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Do you have anything?
I am the second worst social media guy in Canada. Actually, I do have Jimmy England is a funny guy Facebook page for anybody who wants to latch on to that. And I do have a podcast, Back to the Balcony, second look at movies from the 60s and 70s. We've been doing that. We're in our 5th year now. And out at shows wherever I can get a gig and feel like I'm not going to die as a result. So that's me.
What's your podcast, Jimmy? I didn't catch it.
Back to the Balcony. And
what is it about? Sorry, my internet cut up just a little bit.
A second look at movies from the 60s and 70s. I'm actually working. It's a twice a month thing, but in the new year, we've got enough backlog that we're going to go to every second week. And I'm trying to come up with a concept for a shorter 15 to 20 minute show for the off week. Cause it takes about 3 days to watch the movie, research it, do the interviews, do the editing, do the mastering, all the stuff that goes with it.
That sounds awesome, man. I'll have to check that out. It's really good. I like, I minored in film, so I love stuff like that. So it sounds really cool. So make sure to check it out.
We need to bring you on as a guest.
That would be wonderful. I would really enjoy that. Cool. Okay. My turn to plug?
Yep.
Cool. Twitter and Instagram is at Winston H Comedy, WinstonHodges.com for access to like all my podcasts and videos and stuff. And then October 16th, I'm self-releasing a special called Grieving Productively. It's a bunch of material that I wrote and recorded since my dad passed away from pancreatic cancer last year. So I went on the 1-year anniversary of his passing, and I did 30 minutes of just me performing to his grave, and then I did a couple live shows and a Zoom show, and I'm editing it all together to kind of talk about and joke about like the grieving process and try to like make light of a pretty terrible situation. So, but all that information just at Winston H Comedy. I got a bunch of fun stuff if people want to check it out.
Okay, cool. That sounds amazing. I'll definitely check that out. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging around.